optioned this book in 2019, and at the time it had sold just under 1 million copies. And I had
Why
never
did
read
you
a.
read it? Yeah.
Well, my
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds appear to be navigating an increasingly difficult chapter in their lives as a major trial deadline approaches, with new documents expected to be filed that could significantly influence the direction of the case. At the same time, fresh reports, particularly one from the Daily Mail, suggest that the couple's once celebrated chemistry may be fading under the weight of ongoing controversy and public scrutiny. While it's never pleasant to see any individuals going through a tough time, many observers believe the backlash surrounding them is tied to a series of highly publicized disputes and decisions that have shaped public perception in recent months. According to these reports, the couple, once viewed as one of Hollywood's most stable and admired partnerships, is now described by insiders as emotionally drained, overwhelmed, and struggling to maintain the same energy and connection they once displayed so effortlessly. Lively, in particular, is said to be feeling the pressure more intensely, with sources claiming she has become increasingly withdrawn, quieter in social settings, and at times seemingly disconnected, as though the ongoing situation has taken a deeper emotional toll than expected. There are also growing claims that the couple has been considering stepping away from the United States altogether, at least temporarily, in favor of a quieter life in Europe, most notably the United Kingdom. This potential move is believed to be motivated not only by a desire to escape the relentless media attention in America, but also by the more supportive environment Reynolds has cultivated abroad, especially through his involvement with Wrexham's football club, where he has gained a strong and loyal following. In contrast to their current situation in the US, where criticism and speculation continue to build, the UK may represent a kind of reset for both their personal lives and public image. Their day-to-day lifestyle has reportedly changed as well, reflecting this shift in priorities. Public appearances that once defined their brand, glamorous outings with high-profile friends, red carpet moments, and enthusiastic support at major sporting events have become noticeably rare. Instead, Lively is said to be embracing a far more low-key and private routine, spending time at home, focusing on family life, and engaging in quieter activities that keep her away from the spotlight. However, this attempt to step back has not gone unnoticed, and some critics argue that withdrawing now stands in contrast to the earlier controversies that helped fuel the current narrative. Much of the tension is believed to stem from Lively's ongoing professional and legal conflict with her. It ends with us co-star Justin Baldoni, a situation that has steadily escalated and drawn widespread attention. What may have initially appeared as a behind-the-scenes disagreement has evolved into a prolonged and highly public dispute, with legal actions, media coverage, and online discussions all contributing to an increasingly complex and polarizing narrative. The lawsuit Lively filed in late 2024, alleging a coordinated smear campaign, marked a turning point that intensified scrutiny and placed both her personal and professional reputation under a microscope. Since then, every new development has added another layer to the story, making it difficult for the couple to distance themselves from the controversy. Insiders suggest that the cumulative pressure of these events has begun to affect not only Lively individually but also the couple as a unit, challenging the image of stability they maintained for over a decade. Despite a long marriage, a growing family, and a history of major career successes, the current situation has introduced a level of uncertainty that was previously absent from their public narrative. While some supporters remain sympathetic and hopeful that they will weather the storm, others believe that meaningful accountability and clarity will be essential for any genuine rebuilding of trust and reputation. As the legal proceedings continue and new information emerges, the coming weeks are likely to play a decisive role in shaping both the outcome of the case and the future trajectory of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds in the public eye. The sequence of events surrounding the case has also been a point of confusion, with some reports getting key details wrong. According to claims discussed in various outlets, Blake Lively initially filed the SRD complaint before the New York Times became involved, raising questions among commentators about how certain information was reported and whether typical boundaries around private filings were respected. This has fueled ongoing debate about media accuracy and the role coverage has played in shaping public perception of the dispute. As more documents are expected to surface, many believe they will clarify the timeline and provide a more complete picture of what actually happened behind the scenes. At the center of the legal conflict, Justin Baldoni responded aggressively after the situation escalated, particularly following professional consequences such as being dropped by major representation and facing setbacks with his production ventures. He filed a substantial countersuit against both Lively and Ryan Reynolds, alleging that their team attempted to damage his career and seeking significant financial compensation. Reportedly in the hundreds of millions, this legal back and forth has only intensified the spotlight on all parties involved, turning what may have started as a professional disagreement into a prolonged and highly public legal battle. Beyond the courtroom, the personal impact of the situation is becoming more apparent. Insiders describe the entire ordeal as deeply exhausting for Lively and Reynolds, noting a visible shift in their energy and public demeanor. Once known for their humor, charm, and lively social presence, the couple is now said to be far more reserved, with one source describing the change as though a light has dimmed. Social gatherings that were once a regular part of their lifestyles, such as hosting large dinner parties, have reportedly stopped, replaced by a quieter, more isolated routine. While there are no clear indications of issues within their relationship itself, those close to them suggest they are heavily preoccupied, with much of their focus consumed by the ongoing case and the stress that comes with it. Professionally, the situation appears to have had noticeable consequences as well. Reports indicate that Lively is no longer attached to several projects she had previously been linked to, and industry interest in her has slowed compared to earlier periods in her career. Before the controversy, her role in It Ends With Us was widely seen as a major opportunity to re-establish her presence following a hiatus dedicated to family life. She had also been working behind the scenes, developing projects through her production company and planning a slate of film and television ventures that suggested a strategic comeback. However, many of these initiatives have either stalled or failed to materialize, adding to the perception that her momentum has been disrupted. Specific examples highlight this shift. Lively was previously associated with projects such as the sci-fi thriller Proxy, but her name is no longer connected to it. Similarly, her planned directorial debut with an adaptation of the graphic novel Seconds generated early interest, with reports indicating that a script had been completed, yet updates on the project have remained absent for a considerable period. Taken together, these developments suggest a broader pause in her professional trajectory, whether due to external pressures, shifting priorities, or the ongoing legal complications. Overall, the combination of legal battles, media scrutiny, and professional uncertainty appears to have created a challenging environment for both Lively and Reynolds. As new information continues to emerge and the case progresses, the outcome may not only determine the resolution of the dispute but also play a significant role in shaping their reputations and future opportunities within the industry. Blake Lively's position within upcoming film and television projects has grown increasingly uncertain, reinforcing the broader perception that her career momentum has slowed in a significant and very public way. One of the most frequently cited examples is her long-discussed involvement in the adaptation of The Husband's Secret, a project she was originally attached to as far back as 2017. At the time, the announcement generated excitement, as it positioned her at the center of a high-profile literary adaptation with strong commercial potential. However, as the years passed, updates on the project became sparse, and by August 2024, comments from the Australian author appeared to cast doubt on whether Lively was still part of the production at all. The timing of those remarks, coinciding with mounting public scrutiny and controversy, led many to speculate that the project may have quietly distanced itself from her without making a formal announcement. This kind of ambiguity, where no clear confirmation or denial exists, has only added to the sense that her standing within the industry is currently in flux. At present, the only project that appears to be moving forward with any clarity is The Survival List, a romantic comedy that Lively is not only set to star in but also produce. On paper, this represents a strategic move, allowing her to maintain a degree of creative control while continuing to stay active professionally. However, even this project exists within a larger context of uncertainty, as the overall level of enthusiasm surrounding her work, particularly in the United States, appears to have cooled. Insiders and industry observers have suggested that the volume of offers she once received has diminished, with some describing the situation as a kind of informal distancing by studios and collaborators, whether driven by reputational concerns, risk management, or simply shifting public sentiment. The effect is the same: fewer visible opportunities and a noticeable pause in what was once a steadily advancing career trajectory. This professional slowdown is happening alongside major personal considerations, particularly when it comes to the possibility of relocating abroad. Reports indicate that Lively and Ryan Reynolds have seriously discussed spending more time in the United Kingdom, a move that could offer both privacy and a chance at repositioning themselves away from the intense scrutiny they face in the United States. Reynolds' deepening connection to Wrexham through his co-ownership of the football club and its rising success has made the UK an increasingly appealing base. His positive reception there stands in contrast to the more complicated narrative unfolding back home, and it's easy to see why the idea of a fresh environment might be attractive. However, the decision is far from simple. Their children's lives, schooling, friendships, and overall stability are firmly rooted in the US, making a full relocation difficult to justify. Sources emphasize that Lively is highly dedicated to her role as a mother, and that priority heavily influences any long-term decisions. As a result, a more realistic scenario may involve dividing their time between both countries rather than making a permanent move from a career standpoint. The UK could offer something of a reset, The British film industry is known for its strong creative networks and respected filmmakers, and it may provide Lively with opportunities to re-establish herself in a different professional landscape. A successful project in that environment could potentially help shift the narrative surrounding her, especially if it allows her to demonstrate a renewed focus and collaborative approach. Still, even that path is not guaranteed to resolve the broader challenges she faces. The ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni continues to cast a long shadow, and its outcome, whether through settlement or trial, will likely play a major role in shaping how she is perceived moving forward. Importantly, even a clear legal victory may not fully repair reputational damage, as public opinion often operates independently of courtroom results. In industries like entertainment, perception, relationships, and trust can be just as influential as formal outcomes. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds' trajectory presents an interesting contrast. His involvement with Wrexham has not only been a commercial success but also a public relations win, earning him widespread admiration and strengthening his presence in the UK. The club's progress and the positive narrative surrounding it have added another dimension to his public image, one that remains largely unaffected by the controversies tied to the ongoing legal situation. This divergence highlights how differently the two are currently positioned in terms of public perception, even as they navigate the same underlying circumstances together. As the legal process continues, several key dates are approaching that could significantly influence the direction of the case. April 17th marks an important deadline for a wave of filings and responses, many of which are expected to introduce new arguments, evidence, and clarifications into the record. Shortly after, the pre-trial conference scheduled for April 28th is likely to be a pivotal moment, where the judge will determine which elements of the case move forward and how the trial, if it proceeds, will be structured. Observers note that the sheer volume of submitted materials has already become a point of contention, with some parties arguing that the scope of evidence is excessive and difficult to manage. This complexity, combined with jurisdictional questions and prior legal rulings, has led some analysts to believe that there is still a strong possibility the case could be narrowed, delayed, or even partially resolved before reaching a full trial. Despite these uncertainties, preparations are continuing at full pace, suggesting that all sides are still treating the possibility of a trial as very real. The stakes are high not only in terms of legal outcomes but also in how each party's reputation will be shaped in the long term. As more documents are released and additional details come to light, the narrative will likely continue to evolve, drawing sustained attention from both the media and the public. Ultimately, this situation has grown far beyond a single dispute, becoming a complex intersection of legal strategy, public perception, career trajectory, and personal decision. What happens next will not only determine the resolution of the case itself, but could also redefine the future paths of those involved in ways that extend well beyond the courtroom.